welcome. It's me, Percita, and this is Percita's Paradox. So here we are, second week of January. How's your 2020 going so far? Me, I would say definitely kicking off to a wonderful start. Overwhelmed with everything that is happening from last year to this year. There's been some contracts and some situations that I have been waiting on for years that are finally manifesting. So I will say 2020 is looking pretty clear and pretty structured for me, and I'm so blessed by it. I hope that this message finds you in the exact same place of seeing things better and clear going forward. Today, I really wanted to talk about hearsay. And the funny part to me about hearsay is not necessarily what you think I'm going to say. Let me say it that way. Because normally when you hear that word, you're talking about something other than what we're going to talk about, which is advice. We want to make sure that when we are in a thought pattern of trying to look for someone to give us some sense of wisdom or to help us with direction, we need to understand that so many people don't give wisdom based off of their actual efforts. They give it off of hearsay, off of what has happened for other people. And they're literally translating that onto you, be it positive or negative. There's more than enough going around where you can honestly tell yourself that there are some people who will scare you away. And there's some people who will actually push you through and tell you you can do it and give you all the motivation in the world. We always focus on the people who are naysayers. But what we don't focus on is the fact that so many times that even when we get the positive, it's still bad advice. And it's bad advice because the person that's given it to you has not actually went through it or has the experience with whatever you're trying to actually accomplish. They're basically going off of what they've been told through someone else, right? So I'll use religion as an example and say to you, isn't it funny when someone is trying to tell you to keep the faith or pray about it, but they don't pray? And you can tell it by their actions. I'm really caught up this year on making sure that I don't listen to a person's heart. Now I know I'm going to get a little riff about, well, what do you mean, Percita, you don't listen to a person's heart? Because it really isn't about your feeling. And typically things that happen through the heart are based on feelings, and feelings are temporary. So if you look at it from the angle of feelings are temporary, you have to sink to get within the emotion. Those things will pass. So you don't want to take advice or anything from anyone who is working in their heart. You need to find the person who has actually put forth the work. So actions are going to be the first and foremost thing that I look for people. If you're not checking for me, quiet as kept, I'm not checking for you. And when you say that, we say it with such malice typically, right? Or just such disgust with the person or persons or situation that we're talking about that it reads wrong, it translates wrong. What I'm saying in that statement, specifically for myself, is it's very complicated to really run after anything that is not for you. Typically, things that are for you are chasing you down. It doesn't mean that you don't have to work for them, and it doesn't mean that life is not a battle, because I absolutely believe it is. It is a day-to-day, tenacious battle over what you want and what you're going to get. We live in such a positive arena or positive speaking society that we forget that there's actions behind your positive words. That's cool that you walk around and you say beautiful things to yourself like, I'm going to make it, and God is here for me and things are going to work. That's awesome. But are you doing anything for those things to actually manifest? Or do you think that it's just going to kind of pop into your lap because you've manifested? Really? Everyone that I've ever heard that said to me that they manifested something are not living a happy life. And I know that sounds a little crazy, right? But think about it. Just 2 seconds. Just close your eyes and think about the last person that said something to you about them manifesting something, and then ask yourself, manifestation, what does that actually define to be? Like when you define the word manifestation, is it something that you can humanly do by yourself? I would tell you, no, you can't. It's always going to be something that happens with someone else's actions or someone else's favor or grace that matches up to what you're trying to achieve to be able to manifest. It's not done individually. Matter of fact, you can't think of anything that's done in the world for anyone or any business or any situation that was successful alone. You hear a lot of people say that I'm self-employed, I'm self-made. It's actually an oxymoron because you are not self-made. It's always going to be some sense of a team, be it one person or multiples, but is a team that causes a person to be successful. I'll take you through the Bible. I'm a big Bible believer, and I will tell you there's not one miracle that happened in the Bible that did not require two or more. Name one. The person who spoke it and the person who received it. Two. Or the people, or the person who spoke it to multiple people, and them still makes more than one. So what I'm saying is you have to look at it like you have to understand things require more than just yourself in order to be successful. Now, do you want to tell me, like, well, what are you saying, Percita? Even in the Bible, there were people who called on God and God came down. It's still two. Why is it still two? Because God would constitute as another. You and God. Two people, two situations, two beings, two forces, however you want to look at it. You have to understand that team is what's required. If it is not involving a team, it just allows you as a person to believe your own hype. You have to keep something and someone around you that keeps you grounded. You have to understand that you need to speak to people who can check you and simply look you in the face and go, you're not working hard enough. Sure, you're working, but you're not working hard enough. We don't want to hear that. We want to hear that whatever effort we're putting out is the best that should be done because it's the best that we can do. I question you and ask you, is it the best that you can do, or is it the best you're willing to do? Being willing and not able, one thing. Being able and not willing, another thing. Being willing and able, now that's where it becomes very interesting. A lot of people who are not willing and able. And you have to ask yourself, how bad do you want it? Are you going to keep listening to hearsay? Are you going to keep listening to people who clearly, if you have direct contact, and this is going to sound really bad, but I don't really care. If you have direct contact with someone, right? And let's just say that they're your friend, whatever, and they are just as miserable as you, meaning every time you call them, you try to tell them something negative and they outdo your negative. And they outdo what it is that you should be looking for, or how you should be looking towards your life with some more negative, or still in some sense of, girl, I don't know why you complaining, because if my life was as good as yours type tone, please understand that that is hearsay. That's what I would consider hearsay. Because how exactly in God's name are they supposed to walk you through what success should look like? Successful people don't have time to continuously talk about things that didn't happen. They have to fight their way through and out of it. Now, you might say, well, are you just talking about money? No, I'm talking about life. I'm talking about how you feel. I'm talking about your, emotions, but I'm telling you to don't allow the emotions to run you. I'm talking about your finances, but I'm telling you that there's plenty of people with money who are not happy. And always the person without money is the first thing you say is like, well, if I had that kind of money, then I wouldn't be upset. How do you know? You think money is the only thing that would bring forth happiness? Well, then I would tell you to check yourself about it. Because money comes and money goes, and we continuously make decisions over and over again that subtract from our overall goal of saving or moving forward. From the Nikes to the going out to dinner to whatever. We're not sacrificing to get to places we want to be. We're simply telling ourselves that if you had more money, you would be allowed to do all of the beautiful things you want to do and still be able to buy and save and do things for grandeur. But my question to you will always be very simple. Are you willing to do the work that's going to put you in a position that it doesn't have to be hearsay in regards to the wisdom that's coming your way? It is very easy, once you've made it, to find 50 million people who want to help you. Absolutely simplest task on the book. Why? Because you've already proven that you can do it, or that it's possible in your life. Super complicated to find people who are willing to actually work with you and do the work. Why? Because everyone wants to touch into something that's proven. Everyone wants to not take a risk. And when I say everyone, I mean absolutely everyone. From people you know, to people you don't know, to bankers, to accountants, to businesses. No one wants to take the risk. Everybody is looking for the sure thing. And you have to understand that. So there's no way for you to get to a place where you can even find people who are given more advice than the advice that would come from hearsay. You have to be in the environment. And so much of us and so many of us want to sit at home and really believe that, well, it's going to come to me. An opportunity is going to just knock on my door. I just have to be ready, willing, and able. No, it's not going to work. You do have to be ready, willing, and able, but you have to be in motion. You cannot be in a position where I bought you a plane ticket and now you think the plane's going to come to your home to pick you up because the ticket is bought. You're no different than everyone else. You have to go to the airport, stand in the line, go through TSA, deal with all the minutia, and push through. So I'm coming at you today to understand you can't go through life by hearsay. You have to do the work from your wisdom to your actions. Make this year about your actions. Speak less. Act broke all 2020. Stack your chips. I'm not telling you don't do anything. I'm simply telling you to do less than what you're normally doing and see how much further you can get. If you don't own a home and that's been something you wanted to do, make that your priority. If you don't own something, I don't know what it is, a new jacket, a new purse, whatever, just make that part of your life a goal that you are willing to step outside of your comfort zone to accomplish, so that you will have your own advice and you will know the difference between someone who is speaking off of looking at it through Google or Facebook or some meme that they saw or some other friend that they know through somebody who didn't make it. So they're reciting that same fear and drama to you, or get to a place where you understand that when you are asking for wisdom, you're actually in a position that you're talking to someone who's achieved what you're trying to achieve. And they're going to be honest with you and you're going to be honest with yourself, and stop trying to be who you think people think you should be or who people think you should be in regards to the character that you've built. I heard that today, and that was such a deep statement. I'm definitely going to expound on that on another video at length. But what I am saying to you is that you have to do you. And in order for you to ask for some type of a GPS or advice or anything from anyone else, you got to know where the hell you are. Any GPS is going to ask you, what are your original coordinates? Where are you before I can even help you? So we have to get to a place where we understand that and we move through it and we do our best. So today, that is what we're talking about. I am wishing nothing but success on individuals that are watching this channel and people that are being shared to this channel. For you to understand, it is not about just being anything. I'm continuously telling you at the end of every video, live life authentic. Those aren't just 3 words that I'm speaking to make it sound good. It's got to be that. You have to actually be in a position where you know who you are and you're okay with not being liked. There is a culture that is so busy on trying to be liked that we miss that opportunity, and you don't want to miss it. You want to be in a position that it's going to be okay to be disliked, and it's going to be okay if everyone doesn't jump on your bandwagon, because if you keep moving, something and someone is going to come your way that believes in you, and you want a team or a person or a situation to believe in you as much as you believe in you. If you have to drag them or they have ulterior motives, you don't want that. So what am I saying to you today? Live life authentic in everything you do, in every move you make. Don't live it through someone else, and don't allow someone else to try to live their miserables through you. Be it emotions, be it financial, whatever. Allow yourself to see the difference and don't be overtook. Because so many times strong people literally go into situations thinking that, oh, I'm strong and, this person or this situation can't bother me because I know what it is, and get overtook. And then they're wondering, how the hell did I get here? Because you weren't smart enough to know that they're working harder, or the situation's working harder to overtake you than you are to try to fight against it, because you think you don't have to fight. So open your eyes. Open your eyes and do what? 3 things. Live life authentic. Thank you so much for joining me. Like, share, subscribe. Please comment. Tell me what it is you want to hear. I only know if you tell me. Thank you again so much, and have a blessed day.